Making a popsicle stick ukulele out of 600 or more popsicle sticks. I traced off some wood to make braces to hold the sticks against the form. I cut out the braces and nailed them to the workbench to hold the vertical popsicle sticks in place against the form lined with wax paper. I sanded the edge of each stick, making a bevel to fit the curves of the form. I glued the sticks around the form using painter's tape where necessary to hold them tight against each other. I removed the brace at the back of the form to mark the curve of the tail block. Using Titebond 3, I glued the tail block to the side walls. This is the rig I used to bend wood for ukulele sides or any small thin wood that needs to be bent. I set the temperature to around 400 degrees. I bend the wood around the pipe, wetting it to keep it from breaking, using slow, even pressure, being careful not to touch the pipe. After each piece of wood is bent, I glue them to the edge of the top and the bottom sides to make a kerfing for gluing the top and bottom onto the ukulele. They also help to hold the sticks together. I made a time lapse here of me bending the sticks around my pipe. We'll start off, I'm careful not to touch it. So I use a piece of wood to hold the ends down so I can get it bent more to the shape that it needs to be. I fit it into the place where it goes, and then I just roll it around on the pipe to dry it out, to make it better to glue. This is a jig I made to mark the ends of the popsicle sticks for cutting on the bandsaw. I taped them together to cut down on the time it takes to cut them. I used an old plastic cutting board to glue the sticks together. The plastic board keeps them from sticking to the board, and the tape holds them tight to each other. Time to take the braces out of the form and peel the wax paper off, unscrew the form from the bench, turn the form over, and put the kerfing on the top edge of the sides. I traced around the bottom panel I made from popsicle sticks, cut it out on the bandsaw, leaving wood outside of the pencil line, then sanded the bottom smooth. Time to start gluing the neck together. This took the most popsicle sticks. I estimate the ukulele used between 600 to 700 sticks. Here I'm starting the joint for gluing to the body. I used a stick to keep an even space to glue to the body. Adding more sticks, some vertical to the horizontal. This makes it stronger. Gluing the bottom panel to the sides and trimming the excess wood with my carving knife, then sanding it smooth, which I didn't show here. Using a stick for a gauge to show where I need to cut the neck to make the top panel flush with the top of the neck. I slid the neck down over the body until it stopped at the end of the space in the neck, then marked each side with a pencil, then measured from the bottom of the body to the bottom of the neck. Then I measured from the top of the body to mark how far a notch had to be cut out to receive the neck. Checking to see how good the notch for the top panel is. Notch cut out to receive the neck. Checking the fit. Everything fits. Time to glue the neck onto the body. The long process of gluing up the neck, adding sticks inside the body to make a neck block. I glued up some sticks to make braces for the bottom panel. Then I used a small piece of stick to measure how long the brace should be, then cut it off to the proper length. While the neck was drying, I glued the braces to the bottom panel using a go bar. Started carving the neck. I decided to carve as I go. It was a lot different to do it this way, but it was fun. Adding more sticks. Carving more of the neck. More sticks. Starting the peg head, I used an interlocking joint on an angle to get the proper tension for the strings. I drew lines on the peg head to mark where I wanted to make cuts. I used my carving knife to cut away unwanted wood. After some time, the neck and peg head are starting to take shape. Here I'm getting the braces and sound plate cut to length and ready for glue up. After glue is all dry, I rounded out the braces, trimmed and sanded them. I sanded the top of the neck and the peg head on my belt sander and checked with a straight edge to see if everything was lined up. Now it's time to glue the top plate onto the body. You can never have too many clamps. Using a hole saw, I cut the sound hole in the top. Here I'm sanding the body and the neck, gluing a piece of wood to align the bottom of the neck with the body. I inserted 2 small nails and cut them off to hold the fretboard in place while being glued to the neck. I cut the end of the peg head off and glued on some popsicle sticks with the rounded ends left on. Here I marked where to drill the holes for the machine tuners, then drilled the holes. I pre-drilled holes for the tuners and attached them to the peg head. Using the A and low G strings, I set up the bridge and saddle to intonate for a tenor ukulele. After I got the intonation right, I traced around the bridge and taped it so I could stain the wood without interfering with the gluing of the bridge to the top. I stained the ukulele with a light oak color. Now it's time to glue the bridge to the top. After 2 coats of padding varnish, I oiled the fretboard and bridge. Time to put the strings on and tune it up. All tuned up and ready to go. Now let's set up the green screen and listen to how it sounds. It's a little weak sounding. That's my cell phone, and the squeaks you hear in the recording is not the ukulele's fault. It's my tired old bony fingers not pressing in the right spot. Okay, let's see what she sounds like. Try a few chords. Well, thanks for watching my video. I had a good time making it. See you later.